Hi, this is a demonstration for automating development for GDPR affected data. We're using Oka-Bi's automation environment called StakGen. So to give us a scenario, let's say there's a human resources department in a large legal firm that has unprotected employee data. In this demonstration, StakGen will automate the development of an employee data feed. We will review the automatically developed code. Then we will look at the data, both protected from GDPR censure and identifiable, because there may be situations where certain people in an organization may need to have access to identifiable data. And finally, we will look at the audit trail feature, which is also built by StakGen. So here is the logical view of the system that we're going to be automating. On the left, we have the human resources database. And within that, there's an area of employee data, with each column containing an employee's details such as name, address, date of birth, gender, and so on. What we need to do is create a process that takes the data from the human resources system and loads it to the data warehouse on the right. The process needs to be developed quickly so that the data can be treated and stored ethically in line with GDPR. So what needs to be built? First, features need to be applied to the data warehouse to hold the employee data. Then, a data loader needs to be created in order to pseudonymize the data. Pseudonymization is the GDPR recommended mechanism for ensuring the data is safe and cannot be linked back to the individual. Now, you will see StakGen, and we will start the process. So this is StakGen. And first, I'm telling the software where the data is held, which is the server name and the database and the object containing the data called humanresources.vEmployee. And now I'm telling the system to look at the file and find out what data is inside it. There we go. And I'm going to select all because we need everything to go into the data warehouse. And I'm going to tell StakGen that the data file contains identifiable data because we can see names and addresses in it. So here I'm going to define which of the items in the employee file require protection, and on the left hand side I'm searching for those columns with just a few values in them, such as a title and a suffix and phone number type. There we go. And on the right hand side, where we're going to need greater protection, I'm selecting all the other data items that could identify an individual on the HR system, such as name and address and so on. Okay, and here we go. And this is actually the code that builds the storage area in the data warehouse. Okay, now ticking the generate system and framework means that StakGen will create an audit trail against the employee data, which means we can track who has seen what data and when. And as you can see, the hieroglyph in the bottom corner has turned from red to green, meaning that the audit trail is on. And I'm going to pseudonymize the data using a powerful encryption algorithm called AES-256, and with a click of this button, StakGen will create the code in a matter of seconds, which would normally be coded manually by a developer. And as you can see from the green progress bar at the bottom, all the code has been generated. And this code will be applied to the data when it's loaded. So now I'm going to build the data loader, which would normally take a day for a developer to code. And as you can see, the data loader has been successfully created. So now I'm going to quickly load the data, and this could take a couple of minutes. And this is the data loader that has been generated by StakGen. And I'm going to execute the loader. And here we go. As it goes through, we should see some green ticks appearing. There they are. And as you can see, it has been loaded or executed without any issues, and all the employee records have been pseudonymized based on the columns ticked in StakGen. And the next step is to look at the objects that have been created. And here it is. So we can see that StakGen has built some tables to store the data, and view to de-pseudonymize the human resources employee data, and it has automatically built a procedure to apply pseudonymization to the incoming data, and all of that took less than 10 seconds. So we can see that if there's an organization that needs GDPR protection, this is a quick and easy way to implement a robust and consistent mechanism for encrypting and pseudonymizing information. And in addition, a certificate has been built called Human Resources v Employee Pseudonymization Certificate. And this is used to encrypt the data. And all of these features have been developed by StakGen and not the software developer. So what we're going to do now is look at the data that has been loaded. And here we see the AES 256 protected data. So it's incredibly hard to decrypt, and only a theoretic side channel attack could re-identify this. But the chances of that happening are remote. And the reason for this is because, as you can see, the keys are very long. But we also have shortened keys for reporting too. You can also view the data in its original form, and this is, as you can see, truncated personal data, but we can see here that it's not pseudonymized or encrypted. And finally, this is the audit trail. And each time a person looks at GDPR related information, or even non-GDPR information such as geographic data, an entry is recorded into the audit trail log detailing the account name, the server where it resides, the database name, the schema that the data belongs to, and the object, which is a table or view where the data lives, the code executed, and the time that it was retrieved. So this means if there was a breach at, say, 8 p.m. on the 6th of October, you can see that there was a user who accessed the data at about 10 to 8, thus giving you a line of investigation in terms of finding out what the potential cause of the breach was. There are other features in StakGen that show which employee or details were breached, but this is out of scope for this particular demonstration. The key point, however, is that each time a request is made, there is a record written into the audit trail, and this GDPR data access report captures that information and presents it to information governance managers so that appropriate action may be taken if necessary. And that is the end of this demonstration. Thank you.